Hey, what is going on, guys? Goose is here, man. Coming back at you in a video, and this is going to be about LSU, Missouri, the game that's going to be this Saturday in Columbia, Missouri, not Baton Rouge. The game was originally scheduled for Baton Rouge, got scheduled, got relocated to Columbia, Missouri because of the hurricane that's going to be hitting Louisiana probably Friday. So good for LSU, Missouri, and the SEC to get out in front of this and not wait till Thursday or Friday to make a decision, as they decided to move the game, and it's going to be in Missouri. So this is supposed to be a home game for LSU. Uh, Now it's a road game. So now you got to travel. Now you got to travel back-to-back weeks. So in Missouri, uh, they had a lot of success early on. When they first came to the SEC, they won the SEC East twice. But they've kind of fallen off the last few years ever since Gary Pinkel retired, and Barry Odom, that's his name, was coach of them, and they just didn't work. They were falling off. They had to make a change, so they bring the guy with Drinkowitz from Appalachian State. Uh, I don't know, he's a young coach, a lot of upside on him. Everybody says had some success at Appalachian State. So curious to see how he works out, how he implements his offense. Probably take a few years for him to really get the players in that he wants to run the offense that he needs, that he thinks will succeed in the SEC. Connor Bazelak, I think that's how you say his last name. Four-star recruit from Ohio, was a freshman, so he's the starting quarterback for Missouri. Missouri had 2 games to start the year. They lost to Alabama. To start the year, it was a 38-19. Alabama was well in control in this game. They were 35-6 in this game. Missouri scored some late touchdowns, and Alabama really put their the scrubs in. But Missouri they probably have a brighter future going forward. I just don't see it this year. They lost to Tennessee last week, 35-12. As Tennessee got up in this game 28-6 at one point in this football game. Missouri was able to score a touchdown to make it 28-12. That's as close as they got. Tennessee really had their way with them in this football game. So what do I expect LSU to do? I expect LSU to come out here and dominate in this game. I think LSU needs to do the things that they did, the corrections they made from Mississippi State to Vanderbilt. They're going to have to do this. They're going to have to do more of the same. Run the football with John Emery. I think John Emery is the best running back that we have on the roster at the moment. He had over 100 yards in the game against Missouri. I know it's Missouri, but I just think Vanderbilt, excuse me, he had 100 yards against Vanderbilt last week. So I know it's Vanderbilt, but he's just a better back. He has more upside over Curry and Price. Not to say Curry and Price aren't good, because they are. I just think John Emery has a higher ceiling than the two. But the other 2 guys should get their carries. Chris Curry and Davis Price should definitely get the carry. Definitely should get the carries in the game also. But I think Emery should get the bulk going forward. I think Miles Brennan played better against Vanderbilt. Like I said, it's Vanderbilt, so you really don't want to go too overboard in the performance. But he did step up in the pocket. He was more decisive throwing the football. He had 4 touchdown passes. Did have an interception that was a bad throw, but all in all, I thought Miles Brennan played very, very well against Vanderbilt. He's going to have to do more of the same going on the road against Missouri. It's not going to be a 41-7 game. This game is probably going to be, I would say, this game will probably, be close in the first half. I wouldn't be surprised to see if it's a 4-point game at halftime around that. But then I think LSU will pull away in the second half. Having Derek Stingley back is a plus. Eli Ricks on the other side of the ball. He had his best game last week against Vanderbilt. Picked up a pass, had a deflection on 4th down, and if we can have another quarterback to go alongside Stingley, And like we had last year with Fulton, when Fulton was on one side, Stingley wasn't on the other, this helps the defense out that much when you have cover corners that can cover their cover receivers. And the defensive line, Ali Gay, B.J. Ojolari, two great pass rushers on the edge. Ali Gay, the junior college transfer, he might only be here 1 year. Ali Gay he has enough talent. If he can really, impress the scouts, he might only be here 1 year. But B.J. Ojolari, he's going to be here for at least 3 years. He's a true freshman, so he's going to be here for at least 3 years. 2 years after this. So I think LSU has good rushers on the outside that can get to the quarterback. Defensive line, Glenn Logan's going to come back this week. That should help out the defensive line in the rotations. What does have to get better? What does have to get better is the linebackers. I think the linebackers, Jabril Cox, Jabril Cox is good. He's got a lot to learn to play in the SEC. But I think he does. He is pretty good sideline to sideline. But I just think just the middle of the field on the defense, they give a lot of rushing yards against Vanderbilt. That's got to change, because they're gonna be facing a lot better defenses going forward. A lot better offenses and defenses, that too. But LSU's gonna face a lot better offenses going forward. Florida has an awesome offense. Alabama has a great offense. So the linebacker play is going to have to definitely get better if LSU wants to. If they want to succeed, and compete for the SEC, which I don't think they're there yet this year to compete for the SEC. But they're definitely going to have to. But they're definitely going to have to play better if they want to even have a chance to get to that point. But I don't think that they're at that point. I think there are a lot of. I think next year is a year LSU can maybe, forge ahead and challenge for the SEC and a playoff spot in the playoffs next year. But for this year, like I said, for this week, I think LSU will win this game. I don't think they're going to score 40 points against Missouri. I think it's going to be a game close. Might be like 35-20. I think LSU. I think 35-20 sounds about what LSU. I think Missouri is good enough to score 20 points against LSU. Missouri is definitely better than Vanderbilt. They're better than Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's one of the doormats of the league. But I think if LSU goes out and doesn't turn the ball over, they're able to run the football with Emery, Curry, and Davis Price. I think they'll win the football game. If Miles Brennan reverts back to what he did against Mississippi State, not stepping up in the pocket, taking sacks, the game could be a lot closer than what LSU fans want to see. But thank you guys for popping in. I hope to call the game Saturday. All depends upon what happens with the hurricane, because I am in Louisiana. So it all depends on what happens with the hurricane. If the hurricane shifts more west and I'm out of the cone, then I might be able to call the game. Hopefully I'll have power. But anyway, I'll let you guys know for sure, probably by Friday, if I'll be able to do it or not. Because Friday probably be the last day out. Friday probably be the last day. Or maybe tomorrow. Because supposed to hit Friday, so might play tomorrow. It'll probably be tomorrow before I know for sure Thursday if I'll be able to call the LSU game and the Saints game, which is Monday. But thank you guys for watching. If you haven't done so, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Ring the notification bell. Click all notifications. Make sure you ring that bell. Also, give the video a thumbs up. Have a good one.